All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the Jackson and Shabazz Show. And my name is Shabazz of the Jackson and Shabazz Show. And we got
Kenny.
Kenny. Wait. Where's Hunter at? You're not Hunter? You look different. I didn't know you had a beard.
Some people say I look like Hunter.
No, so yep, I got the man, the myth, the goddamn legend, my fellow Steeler Nation, my fellow guy, man, Kenny. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. How you
All
doing?
right, I'm good, man. I'm very glad to be here. Haven't recorded a show in like almost 2 weeks, so I'm just so eager to get into it, man. I can't wait. So, for the introduction, since we'll make this proper, so Kenny is Hunter's stepdad. I've known him for a couple of years now. I've been over to the house, hung out a bunch of times, and honestly, a great guy to be around. And on it, we clicked right off the rip. I went into his house. I saw the frame he's got downstairs with the Steelers memorabilia. Fell in love with the guy ever since. So I'm glad you're on the show. I appreciate you for being here.
All right, no problem.
All right. So if anybody's wondering, because my co-host Hunter's gonna look at this and say, "Well, why haven't they talked about me yet?" So Hunter, he's actually moving back to New York. He was in Kentucky for a while, so yep, he'll be right back upstate. And hopefully next week, we can record an episode with us face to face, so I can really show you guys how much I hate him. But yeah, he's hopefully has a safe trip, and he'll be watching. So let's get right into it. So I got a funny story, and here's my story. So for those who don't know, right, I work construction, which I will not be working for so much longer, and my boss doesn't even know that. So everybody, keep quiet. So I'm working construction, right, and I'm on a ladder. Okay, we at the time we were scraping paint off a house, right, and we were putting up we were taking off the shutters off the house, right. So I'm working with this Mexican guy. His name is Mario. I call him Super Mario, right? He's like just a small, he's like, I don't know, 4'7", Uh, I'm just gonna go on from that. So I'm working with him, and he's a cool guy. So he's taking down the shutters on one end of the house. I'm on the other, and out of nowhere, for anybody who's Spanish, don't take this personally. But I look to the left, and all I hear is "Ay, ay, Dios mío," and I look over, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on?" And some bats were right behind the shutters. 3 bats that just flew, that were like flying around him while he's on the ladder. So I'm scared for him. I'm like, "Oh man, like what if he jumped down and broke his neck or something?" Like he would have been completely different for the rest of his life. So I went over to him because I was at the top of the ladder too. So I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, "Mario, like, why did you have to, your voice got kind of high when you screamed. I don't know why." So he jumped down the ladder. Well, he like slid down, slid down the ladder. And I get down, and he's like hands on his knees. Órale, way. And I'm like, "Oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." I had to coach him through that because he was kind of panicking, but I completely understand. So, I couldn't really, I couldn't blame him so much.
That's too much.
So yeah, that was an interesting day, and I'm just happy it wasn't me
Uh,
personally.
you may have said some similar things if that happened to you too.
Oh yeah. I would have used my profound vocabulary and found some curse words to say. So
Yeah.
so this is on the fly. Do you have a funny story you would like to share?
Uh, nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Fine.
Hey, fuck me, right? Okay, I understand. I get it. All right, so yeah, today we're gonna speak about one of the best times of the year, third week into the season, football. So, we're gonna talk about football today, guys. And man, as a Steelers fan, it's been a rough 2 weeks. And as a fellow Steelers fan, you can agree, man. It's
Oh yeah.
how do you feel about our performance week 1 and 2? Just give me a summary.
I can say it in one word. Horrible.
I can 100% agree with you. Especially I have a lot of friends that are Patriots fans, and it's not fun.
Even
Yep, when they tag you and stuff, and fuck you guys.
when your own son turns against you.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, that would hit my heart. That hit my
Uh,
heart.
I feel like I did something wrong as a father.
You didn't force enough Steeler Nation in him.
No, I guess not. Tried to
But
let him make his own choices, and then all hell goes.
right. And then what's crazy is actually, you know what? I never asked you this. What is the reason you became a Steelers fan?
Uh, my brother-in-law,
Hmm.
my sister's husband, he's been a Steelers fan since he was, I don't know, probably my Liam's age, which
Okay.
is 9. And all the time I was growing up, I knew him as a Steelers fan. And he
Hmm.
always, he would show me his. Every year he got a Topps trading set, the full trading set.
Nice.
So since I think it was like the early '80s, he's had those Topps trading sets,
Wow.
and that's how it started. I'd look at those cards all the time, and then I was like, oh, that's cool. And then when I finally decided to pick a team, that was pretty much the obvious choice because not too many other people around me watched football. So
Right. Okay, yeah, and
yeah,
it kind of makes me feel like a scumbag because the reason why I am a Steelers fan. So growing up, I lived in Harlem. I ended up moving to Baltimore, Maryland, which obviously home of the Ravens.
yeah.
And yeah, my sister, sometimes we go to the stadium and they let you watch the practice and whatnot. My sister was a Baltimore fan, and obviously Ravens and Steelers are rivals. So
Oh yeah.
literally, I was like, you know what? I don't like that purple and black. I like that black and yellow. And they wore their throwback Bumblebee like
Oh
inspired
yeah.
uniform.
Oh yeah.
And literally as a kid, I was like, man, these guys look freaking awesome. So yeah, that's literally.
Right.
Oh, and when I saw Troy Polamalu's luscious ponytail,
Oh, I love it.
I said, yep, that's my team, that's my guy. So yeah, that it was just as simple as that for me.
I got that jersey hanging in my closet.
Here we go, man. It was 2 years ago, right? I had Miles. He bought me a birthday gift. I asked this guy specifically for a Ben Roethlisberger jersey. This guy gets me a Le'Veon Bell jersey, which I wasn't mad about. At the time there was no reason for us to believe that they would leave the team.
Right.
But now you see what happened, and
Oh yeah.
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 So yep, bad experience for me. But yeah. Other than that, man, fellow Steeler Nation.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I'm glad that we're a part of the same team, so we can hopefully agree on a lot of things. So we're gonna have to argue as much. But let's hop right into it. So
Oh,
there's a quarterback on the Ravens. I think he goes by the name of Lamar Jackson, something like that. Who he's been killing. Let me know what you think about his performance.
um, pretty damn good.
Yo, there we go.
Yeah. It's yeah. Let's see. There was a quarterback that did it last year, about similar. I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's keeping up with those numbers. He's
Does he sound like a bullfrog?
yeah, yeah, that he does. He's definitely doing good. You can't call it yet because it's only you're only three weeks into the season. Well, two. They played 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, you know, yeah. Other than those first 2 weeks, a lot of things can happen in the
Mhm.
next 14 weeks. But he's definitely playing pretty damn well those first 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, making a lot of fantasy owners happy. That's
Yeah,
for
for
damn
sure.
sure. Uh, Making a lot of fantasy owners happy. They're the wide receivers and all the other players on the team that were
Mhm.
surprised at how well the rest of the team's playing because
Yep.
that team really wasn't picked to play very well this year.
No,
Uh,
no.
so they're surprising a lot of people. He's surprising a lot of people. I mean, I thought he was going to do well, but not quite as well as he's doing right now. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, ironically, week 3, there's that matchup. Uh, how do you feel? Well, obviously, we mentioned Patrick Mahomes, aka the Bullfrog. And
Yep.
how do you feel? It's hard for me to ask just for the simple fact that I agree 100%. It's only week 2. We cannot place any real judgment on how things are going to go. But if you had to kind of gauge who would do better at the end of the season, who do you feel will do better?
Mm. So you're
Oh,
talking about this year, right?
Yes, yes.
this particular year. The way things are shaping up so far this year, I'm going to say Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Just for the simple fact that as of right now, with the weapons that he has around him, I think
Hmm.
his team is a little bit better.
You
Uh,
think? You
I
think?
I think his team is shaping up to be better than Kansas City. Yes, his team. Have you seen the
What?
Have you seen the stats he's putting up?
No, for sure, for sure. I
His
have, I
team
have.
is shaping. I'm not saying they're better right now, but they're shaping up to be a better team. You
Hmm.
know, their running back situation isn't quite as, but the Kansas City situation right now, they're often injured.
That's
You
true.
know, the same thing with the wide receiver situation in Kansas City right now. They
True.
have an injured wide receiver that, what's he going to be back in like 4 weeks?
Yeah, 4 to 5.
So
Yep.
so in that 4 weeks, a lot can happen to Kansas City that could put them way behind the eight ball.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that that's a reflection on the quarterback, but I mean, the team overall can make the quarterback look a lot worse than
That's
you
true.
know, or a lot better than what going forward. So, I mean, I think of overall at the end of the season, Lamar Jackson could be the one of the two that's better.
Now, man, we're literally only a couple minutes into the show, and I gotta disagree already.
Hey, it's gonna happen.
It
Might as well get it
hurts.
over with early.
It hurts so bad. It hurts. But no, so yeah, for those who are wanting Lamar Jackson, yeah, fantastic guy. 596 all-purpose yards with 7 touchdowns. Phenomenal in week 2. We're nobody can deny that. Me, as much as I can make fun of, you know what? And I don't know if you watched last week's episode, but I have. Well, did we air last week's? No, I don't think we did. I have a stellar Patrick Mahomes accent. Would you like me to display that accent?
Go for it.
Okay, so here's the scenario we're gonna play. You're a reporter. You ask me a question about the game.
Um, how about that touchdown in the third quarter?
Well, that touchdown. I think I just read the defense pretty well. Uh, I saw the guy open in the flats, and then I saw the other guy come up on coverage. So I just gave him a little pump fake, and yeah, he ran in very good, very good.
Nice.
Okay, I give myself credit for that. But no, honestly, yeah, I got to disagree, man. I think Patrick Mahomes, to me, you can't really judge it by his last year's season because obviously anything can happen. God forbid the guy can break his collarbone tomorrow in
Right.
practice. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel he set the bar so high last year that honestly, if he can top that, I would be the most impressed guy on this world. But unfortunately, the bar is set so high for him, he can only go down. And I,
Exactly.
that's how I feel about it. But I definitely might lean a little bit more towards Mahomes doing a little bit better. But I do feel Lamar Jackson will be near neck and neck, I'd say.
Yeah.
So,
They'll be close, that's for sure.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm not gonna say I don't like the Giants, all right, because that'd be foolish. But I don't really like the Giants, okay. And yeah, no, you've seen they've been falling apart tremendously.
For years.
Um, for a while, for a while, yeah. Eli is no longer with us. No, he's still alive, but he's just no longer with us. They got Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback. Let me know your thoughts on the Giants this season so far.
Um, Besides the fact that they played horrible the first 2 weeks,
Yes.
that they made the good decision doing this. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones seems to like he's going to be a really good quarterback, to be honest with you. Um, just a little bit that you saw of him in the preseason, he, of course it's preseason, but he seemed like he had his head on his shoulders. He
Yep.
made good reads. He did all the good things in preseason. The little bit that I saw of him in the regular season so far, he made a few good reads, did, a couple, rookie mistakes, fumbling the football, things like that. But, you know, obviously he's a rookie, so, things like that are going to happen. But obviously the Giants don't have a great team, so it's going to take him a while to progress because he doesn't have the good wide receivers around him. He doesn't have a great offensive line. He doesn't have a great defense to get him the ball back, to keep him off the field. So I think he's going to be okay going forward. It's going to take him a while.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I actually went to a preseason game. It was Giants versus Bills. Giants versus Bills, I want to say. Yeah, that's how uninterested I was in a preseason game. But yeah, no, I went there and yeah, it was actually I think it was the Bills. Honestly, I was kind of focused on my nachos and my hot dog. I'm not gonna lie, but no, they did very well in preseason, and yeah, I do agree with you. Definitely, honestly, before I finish my opinion, is Eli Manning a future Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You think so? I do too. I do
Yeah.
too. There was a lot of backlash on, oh, he's not good. No, I think it's earned. He's earned
had
a spot.
Very good career.
Yes.
Just not recently.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think them heading into that direction with their quarterback, in my eyes, it can only do them better. So I can't see anything worse. They already don't have high expectations. So putting a new quarterback literally takes no pressure. You know what I mean on that guy.
I mean, it's coming for all the guys in that were drafted in that range.
Right.
They're getting to that age range where it's time for them to move on almost.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that's going to play forever is Tom Brady.
Right. Imagine in 2 years from now, he his last season, he's, oh yeah, I'm going to retire in the beginning of preseason. Yeah, ESPN just reported Tom Brady signs a max $100 million 18-year
cyborg contract.
I could honestly see it, man. But Tom Brady's probably one major hit away from completely throwing it in, and if Ryan Shazier was on the squad now, well, is he still on with us, or he's not playing though?
No, the guy can. He can walk, but it's difficult to watch sometimes.
Oh man, yeah.
Have you seen him lately?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard anything.
It's much better than it was. It's definitely better than it was. Actually, the most impressive thing I've seen from him was about 2 months ago. I saw him doing box drills, like 4.5 foot, 5 foot high box drills. He was doing full box drills. It was amazing. To see someone like that had that big of an injury do box drills on like 4 foot high boxes. I couldn't. I don't even think I could crawl on top of a box.
No, God bless, man. God bless, because I did not think he would ever recover from his back injury and everything.
He danced at his own wedding.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's very good. Oh, you know what? All right, so here's the point in the show where Hunter tries to mitigate, but Hunter's not here, so I'm gonna do it. There's a time where I want to segment some things in, but I call this segment "Turning It Up." Here's what we're gonna do: turning it up. I want you to aggressively, with as much passion as you possibly can, talk about this subject. What do you feel about the whole Antonio Brown fiasco? Everything that's going on.
I don't want to fucking talk about him. I'm tired of talking about him. What I want is the district attorney of Pennsylvania or wherever the hell that was to get their head out of their ass and get rid of that statute of limitation and freaking arrest them. Did you see that?
No, I did not know.
Freaking the Pennsylvania apparently has a 2-year statute of limitation, so they're not going to arrest him or even charge him. They're not even going to charge him because there's a 2-year statute of limitation. And apparently this alleged whatever act happened in June of 2017. So it's been more than 2 years. So they won't even charge him for it.
I can't disagree with that.
I know, but I'm just saying, really? So now there's two other charges that can happen possibly in either Florida or Michigan or some shit. I don't know, but it's not just that. I'm just talking about it's a snowball effect of all of it. You know, the guy's a freaking idiot, and he's whatever.
I like the fire early.
It's not it's not that he's gone from my team. It's the impact on the game that he's had. You know, everybody's eyes have been taken off of everything but him for such an extended period of time that, you know, it's taken away from so many other things that are either good or, you know, not, maybe not even good, but just everything but him was in the news. You know, it was just him in the news, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. I didn't want to hear anything about him. And I'm glad he went to New England, because maybe now we won't.
You're glad he went to New England?
Yes, because maybe they'll shut him the fuck up.
No. All right, so this is where my hot meter goes higher. Antonio Brown.
I'm not glad he went to New England, but I'm hoping they can shut him up a little bit. Okay,
well, I mean, it just sucks. It honestly sucks, you know. And I agree with what you said. It's, you know, I wish that he didn't show his ass the way he did. You know, I wish that he wasn't such a knucklehead, because, you know, obviously as a fellow fan, you can agree, you can't take anything back what he did. He's a walking touchdown, you know, and his stats obviously speak for themselves, but it really sucks. You know what I mean? Him going to the Raiders, it was like, oh, okay, you know, he's got some decent talent around him. But then it's like the guy just lost his goddamn mind. Like, nobody can put their finger on it. And it's like when you compare what he was on the Steelers, you know, in my eyes, he looked like a fun guy. You know, not the Kawhi Leonard, a fun guy. A fun guy. He looked like he was, you know, he looked like one of the best teammates ever. Celebration, hyping everybody up. And then you go to Raiders, you go to Oakland, and you turn into public enemy number one, you know, and you try to fight your staff. You try to fight them because
your GM.
Or GM, you try to fight them because you missed practice and you got fined? You're a multi-million-dollar athlete and you didn't go to practice and you're mad.
And it wasn't even that much money for him.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it was what, $25,000, I think it was, or somewhere around there. You know, which $25,000 is obviously chump change. I mean,
especially when he was about to get $30 million guaranteed.
Right. So it's just tough to put my finger on it for him. You know, it's for lack of better words, he is a dumb fucking idiot.
And then how do you go from being released by a team and then less than 3 hours later signing with the New England Patriots with a fully guaranteed contract for $9 million and then a $15 million total contract? How does that fully get worked out in 3 hours? That's called tampering.
Exactly. I was gonna say it was in the works. It had to have already been, you know, and it's okay. Let me lift my spirits up. Let's go. Let's go into something better and more worthy of speaking with. Okay, so let's talk about my co-host Hunter Jackson. We're gonna talk about his team, which is the Jets. We're gonna talk about how shitty they're falling apart. Let me know your feelings on the Jets.
I don't have any.
Okay, that's fair. That's
I mean,
fine.
You know, they're getting the injury bug like everybody else is. I mean, you know, this seems to be a heavy year for the injury.
Yes.
You know, it's you know, their quarterback, I mean, he's not really injured, he's just sick. But their second string quarterback is injured now. So they're under their third string quarterback, who I have no idea who that is. I'll be honest with you. Even if you told me who it was, I probably still wouldn't be able to tell you who it was. But yeah, I mean, you know, you can't really point fingers at any one team and say, hey, they don't have any injuries, because
that's true.
Every team has been hit hard. I mean, what was it? Was it Sunday night or Monday night that the Eagles played?
Sunday, I want to say.
Yeah, they got crushed with injuries that night. They got
I actually didn't watch that game, so yeah, I didn't watch that.
no quarterback went out, two wide receivers, defensive
Damn,
linemen. So
damn.
the quarterback's in concussion protocol, two wide receivers with muscle pulls, and a defensive lineman with a broken foot, all in
God
one
damn.
game.
Yeah, that's detrimental. Yeah, that's
I mean, talk about an injury bug.
for real.
But
Wow.
but anyways, back to the Jets. Uh, I mean, you know, it's rough. I mean, you know, you got a quarterback out sick for what they say, like 4 to 6 weeks,
Mm,
and then you got your backup in his first game playing, and he gets his ankle broken. I mean,
hmm
bad luck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand 100%. You know, that injury bug, that shit's real. You know, it's and what makes it even worse is you know, I played football in high school, and yeah, it's like game to game. You know, that's the one thing. Literally, like it doesn't matter what happens in the game, you don't want an injury. You know what I mean? So even from a coaching standpoint, like it must really be hard and just I could just imagine being the Jets head coach. Well, first of all, I'd be crying myself to sleep every night. Second of all, you know, I would, especially like in this situation, I'd be like, well, goddamn, you know, our season's crumbling before it's even starting.
yeah,
So yeah,
that's true.
it's definitely tough, man. It is tough. And yeah, even in any situation where you got to bring out a third string, I mean, you know, you're definitely in for some rough times,
Yeah.
some super rough times.
Actually, you know what I heard them say was that Le'Veon Bell at that point in time was their backup quarterback. When they brought in the third string quarterback, that
Oh my
Le'Veon
God.
Bell was their backup quarterback because he was the only person on the team right then that had actually played quarterback at any point in their life.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
That is ridiculous. Wow. Well, I mean, if they run some sort of option, I mean, he'll be the guy.
Yeah. Hey, throw it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's a question for you. Uh, without being biased, I want you to name your top three. You know what? No. Who do you think's going to be in the Super Bowl this year?
Um, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Well, unfortunately, the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Um, hmm, trying to think of who I think they're going to be playing.
Nah, it's kind of a toss up, you know, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Oh, here's a you know, I'll give you time to think about that. Here's an even funnier here's a funny analogy that Hunter came up with. I thought was genius and actually really funny. So I remember a couple weeks ago he was asking me. This was before the season started. We were talking about top three receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know if you watched that. I hope you didn't watch it because then it'll spoil the joke. Who do you think are the top three receivers in the league? And we can only base this off of obviously productivity on
Oh, I
of
think
what
I know
they've
where
already
you're going
done.
with this because I did watch that one. Yeah.
Oh no, don't say it.
I watched that one, so I know what you're about to say.
All right, so scratch the joke because you're obviously ruining it. All right, top three in the league. Who do you feel?
Wide receivers
Yes.
as of production for this season so far. Or
Um, just across the NFL, just
for us, yeah.
overall. Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Julio Jones. Um, uh, hmm. I would normally say Antonio Brown, but he hasn't really done anything yet this year so far. So we'll go with Antonio Brown because of past performances.
Yep.
Um, and who do I want to put as three?
And just for the record, I my top three, the two that you said are also in my top three.
Yeah, trying to think of a suitable third besides the any white quarterback that Bill Belichick. But... oh wait, was it quarterback or was it a lacrosse player?
any white lacrosse player that Bill Belichick decides to make into an all-star wide receiver.
Yeah. Crap. You know what? I can't think of a great third one to throw up there that I can like throw in front of anybody else at this point in time.
Well, I had Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Yeah, he's disappeared off my radar since going to the Stinky Browns.
Yeah, which is true. Yeah, it's kind of low profile now. But yeah, no, those are my three, man, and it's just so sad to say, you know, it's even with basketball, it's become we're out of the era now where, well, the season hasn't started, so I can't officially say, but it's not going to be everybody's heavily favored towards Golden State. But unfortunately for football, where everybody knows that the Patriots will be in the Super Bowl because somebody. Let me tell you something that pissed me the fuck off. Obviously, you remember last season when was it Jesse James, that controversial play when we played New England?
Oh yeah.
Can you just walk me through your whole when you're watching the game? Because first of all, the refs, you're fucking assholes because you got the call completely wrong, and there's plenty of video proof. You guys watched it over and over and over again, so
and
you know you got it wrong.
Changed the rules because of it.
Exactly, changed the rules because of that play. So not only, and this is just a rant to the refs because they're all watching this. No, they're not. You guys fucking suck. Okay, you are fucking crusty. You are dumb. You're fucking blind. Obviously. You know, and I just want you to know you sabotaged our chances again. And it sucks because usually, as you know, it's usually always the second round of the playoffs that we get bounced out. You know, it's always the very last, and it's a controversial fucking play. So tell me what you thought about that.
If you were here, you would have heard me almost break the TV. There was a whole lot of yelling and expletives, and yeah, it was not a pretty sight. Yeah, that was a horrible call. I mean, I never understood what they were looking at and why they called it that way. I mean, yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Yeah. I was a little brokenhearted for about a week after that.
Oh, I understand. I understand 100%.
I mean, how do you think the Saints felt though?
Oh my gosh, that was just an insult to anybody who knows football, and even from a commissioner standpoint, somebody has to look at that and say, "Come on, guys! Like that's blatantly a terrible call. You're ruining a person's season." And obviously, we can't turn back the hands of time, but you know. When time machines come out, if you want to go half on a time machine with me, I would love to, I would love to go back in life and watch that live so I can go on the field and punch the ref in the face who got that call wrong. Because and on top of that, I am a firm believer that the Rams, first of all, the Rams versus the Patriots last Super Bowl was terrible. I didn't find it interesting whatsoever. Not because it was low scoring, but because, on both sides, they looked like they were not ready for that prime time moment, which was a perfect time for you to capitalize off of Tom Brady, but that's not here nor there. I guarantee if it was the Saints playing the Patriots, the Saints would have blew them the fuck out the water. And that's just my feelings on it.
I agree. Because you do not catch Drew Brees on an off day very often.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, I want to segment into this. What do you think about the Miami Dolphins?
They're horrible.
That's fair.
On a regular basis for quite some time.
Very accurate.
For a very long time. Since Dan Marino.
Oh, no. They've had a decent season here or there. Not saying it's over 500, but
decent is a stretch.
Well, yeah. So recently, as you know, the Dolphins players are requesting to get traded, and it's it's not looking so hot for them. We actually have a buddy of mine, which you know, Addison, who also was on the show 3 weeks ago. He
Yeah,
happens to be a diehard Dolphins fan,
that he does.
and currently, right now, he should be on his way back from Albany. So when we air this episode, Addison, I just want you to know your team is trash. Okay. So just
Great.
take that with a grain of salt. Don't get mad at me. Just respect my statement for what it is because it's looking more like a fact rather than a statement.
It looks
So
more like they're going for the number one pick.
right. And in a sense, I guess that'd be smart, but I just hate the idea, and it happens in all sports, the idea of sabotaging yourself purposely just so that you can be top of the cream of the crop for the next upcoming, good talent. But
Well,
I'm
they're
not into that.
accumulating draft picks.
Right. And I guess with them trading players, from looking at them from the beginning of the season, I actually expected them to be at least 8-8, something regular.
Nah.
Because they had a couple pickups that to me looked okay, but now seeing them play, it's like, man, I feel like an idiot. I should have just kept my mouth closed.
It's going to be an offer.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be a tough one. That Dolphin talk, man. and even let me know what you think about their performance so far. Just take me into the mind of Kenny when you saw the massacre of the Dolphins versus Patriots. And for the Patriots, I mean, Patriots and Dolphins fans out there, yes, we lost to the Patriots too. Yes, we did. You guys suck. We don't. What do you think about how they've been playing?
The Dolphins?
Yes.
I mean, like they already sailed it in for the end of the season.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, they're in Miami. They're already on the beach.
Right. It's not too far to sink, I guess.
I mean, the little bit that I did catch of the one game, they look like they're about to get hurt. They look like they're a Pop Warner team. I don't know.
I lost you for a second. We cut out for a second. Could you repeat that?
I said they look like they're a Pop Warner team.
Oh man, sheesh, little Pee-wee, like this big on the field, guys.
I mean,
wow.
You wonder why they're asking for trades. The big boys are actually looking to get traded away, so the little kids can go back on the field. I don't know.
I mean that's a controversial thing too when you've got players that actually want to leave the team, not even halfway into a season, which it just says a lot. Just says a lot about that organization in general. You can kind of trickle it down to loyalty, but at the same time, players that vets they're not looking to play games and tank a whole season. They're looking to win and hopefully, I guess, just take that route to, hey, let me go to a better contending team. Which I guess if I was in the league 4 or 5 plus years, I understand. I completely understand.
Yeah. I mean, you got that guy that we picked up from Miami, and then you got what's his name there? The guy from the Jags, asking for the trade. The heck's his name?
Jags.
The cornerback.
Oh,
Jags.
Ramsey.
Ramsey. Yeah, he's looking for a trade.
Jalen Ramsey.
So everybody's asking for it now.
Yeah, and that Jalen Ramsey trade, that was kind of, I looked at that and was like, damn, everybody's really just trying to go their own direction now. But so Steelers picked up Minka, is that how you say his name? Fitzpatrick?
I think so. Mink coat Fitzpatrick.
We're gonna call him mint paste, mint mint condition, whatever.
Yeah, I call him a mink coat because he's all over everybody. Whatever.
Okay, I like that. Let me know what you think about that pickup.
I think it's great. The kid can play.
Yeah,
he's a shutdown corner. He can play a little bit of everything. He's not just a corner. He can play safety. He can come down into the box if need be. He can tackle.
Right.
He's an all around good player. As long as he can keep some of that, a little bit of what happened right there at the end down there in Miami. You know,
Mhm.
that whole, I want to get traded, and his mom's tweeting stuff, and you keep that down in Miami.
Right.
Don't bring that to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Just
please,
keep that
please.
on the beach.
Please. Yep, keep that where you found it.
But other than that, yeah, I mean, he seems like he's going to be a good fit for the defense. I mean, we need a little help there with the injury, and you know, I think it'll definitely solidify the defense a bit.
hmm Now, I wanna tell you my thoughts on how Ben Roethlisberger, he's out right now, as you know. I want to tell you what goes through my mind when I'm watching the Steelers play this year. What goes through my mind is obviously inconsistency with Ben Roethlisberger, which we've kind of seen a little bit in the last. Really, I've noticed in the last 2 years. Like I've majorly noticed. Oh, he's throwing one pick a game. Oh, he's throwing three picks a game. Oh, you know what I mean? Oh, he's missing Antonio Brown streaking wide open. Oh, he's missing that play in the flats. That inconsistency, it's really starting to get to him, and it's very noticeable. And you notice, his decision making is, uh, it's not as sharp anymore. There's a lot of throws that he's making that are honestly just telegraphing a lot of stuff. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, damn, I hate to see this happen, but obviously, everybody declines except if you're LeBron James, you don't decline. Everybody or Tom Brady, but everybody's declines, but it's just so tough, man, to watch that happen and to really just know, like, damn,
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna have to really find the start of the new dynasty, in a sense. So, what do you think about the Ben Roethlisberger injury and just Steeler play overall?
I mean, obviously the seeing him get injured is, you know, rough because he's been there for so long and you've been watching him for so long.
Mm-hmm.
He's won Super Bowls for us, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a rough thing to watch. I'm hoping, I'll keep our fingers crossed that we drafted the right quarterback, and you know he seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to have his head on his shoulders. All the players around him are saying the right things about him,
Yep.
which they always do. But he played really well coming in to that game the other day.
Yep.
Almost brought him back for the win. Yeah, I mean it seems like it could be okay.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the play for the beginning of the season and the end of last season, I think you're right. There's been a lot of inconsistencies in his play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot more interceptions, a lot. He threw for a ton of yardage, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that had to do with yardage after the throw, or
Yep.
after reception. It's a lot of throw it for 5 yards and let them run.
Yep.
That's a lot of what the offense is, and that really doesn't have much to do with him at all. So
Exactly.
had
Yep.
more to do with Antonio Brown, and you know, but yeah, I definitely see what you're saying with the throwing. You'd have, I think he had at least 2 or 3 games last year with 5 interceptions.
Yes, yes, frustrating. Very frustrating to watch, especially live. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of times last year where I didn't watch the full game, either because I didn't have an opportunity or I just said, you know what, fuck it, But I'd always watch highlights, and it's so much more frustrating to watch interceptions live than highlights, obviously, because it's like, damn, you fucked up, But yeah, it's so. How do you feel this affects our season? Honestly, like, do you think it drastically changes things or what?
I mean, if you look at like everything all the experts are saying and everything, like especially if you look, because we're playing the fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you look at that, it says like on my team I have Juju. It
Yep.
says it told me that his fantasy stock went down because
Oh,
of because of the quarterback change,
oh, makes sense.
and I'm like I don't really see it. I'm like they had a pretty good chemistry. I'm
Mhm.
like, and then I also have the tight end, and they're like, oh, his stock went down too because of the change, and I'm like, he threw him 2 touchdowns during that game.
Yeah, exactly. He
I'm
scored
like,
twice.
how does it? And it was while he was in the game. I'm like, so
Oh wow.
how does it, Ben didn't throw him those 2 touchdowns? Then I'm like,
Exactly.
the backup did. I'm like, so how does this quarterback change take the tight end's stock down? I'm like, I think that brings that up.
It should. Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. I'm like, as far as the rest of the team goes, I'm like, I think, they're definitely going to have to rally around him, like anybody would say that has to happen. But I don't. He's going to make mistakes.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's part of the reason why they tried to solidify the defense,
Right.
because they know we're going to have to keep people's scores down. We're going to have to try to take the ball away. Um, the best we could hope for is for him to minimize his turnovers, and that's really the best we can hope for. Minimize his turnovers, and then us try to take the ball away from other people.
Right.
And hopefully have a decent running game.
Right. Yeah, and then we put our faith into James Conner, which he played pretty well last game too. Yeah, but no, I agree. I agree 100%. I think it'll definitely take I'd say week 6, and maybe week 6 is maybe too early, but I feel week 6 is really when Steelers are going to get back on their high horse, and we're going to start putting up 30, 35, 42-point games, and hopefully, emphasis on our defense where, exactly like you said, we're limiting possessions, we're stopping them from scoring. Um, and I agree again. It's like our backup. He played I was impressed. I was actually pretty impressed. Like, when Ben was down, I was like, oh fuck, it's all over. But then this guy came out and he seemed fairly comfortable with what he was doing, being in that sort of spotlight. And the first couple of weeks of the NFL are tough. Obviously everybody's not in tip top shape like they would be week 12 and on. So, fatigue hits a lot faster, and those 2 touchdowns to the tight end, hopefully that opens eyes up a little bit to say, hey, let's get this guy the ball a little bit more. So,
Right.
but yeah, on top of that, man, it's, I think week 6 is where we start getting back into things. And I think it affects our season a little bit now. Well, I know for sure it affects our season now. We're 0-2.
Oh yeah.
Uh, if we can get out of the drought by week 4, I think we'll be 100% good. Now I want to segment into Drew Brees because he's also
Yeah.
also not playing. How does that affect their season?
Um, I mean, see, they have a really capable backup that's proven already.
Yes.
Um, you know, the issue is, can he play in that offense?
Right.
He's been proven to play in a different type of offense. Is he able to play in that offense? And he didn't play well in the last game, but he hasn't taken any first team reps. He started to seem like he was getting a little more comfortable near the end of the game, but um, this next game will be the tell for
Mm-hmm.
him. Whether or not they keep him in or they move on to I don't remember that other guy's name, but that little Swiss Army knife guy that they have. That that's what they call him. They use him as a tight end, a running back, an H back, freaking everything.
Mm,
Um, I can't remember what his name is now, but there's another guy that they have. This is their third string quarterback.
mm,
But he's like 6'6". He's an
mm,
enormous dude.
mm.
But anyways, I think that this will be the tell this week. If they try to stay with him, if he does okay, they'll continue with him. If he does horrible, I think they'll yank him out.
Mm.
Because he's got to prove himself.
Right.
He's already a proven quarterback, but in this day and age, it's either you do it right now or you don't do it at all.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's literally you just got to prove yourself, and it just comes down to a point where, like you said, this day and age is just a little different. People are not really. I think I think head coaching staff, they're not really trying to, I don't want to say give that person an opportunity, because they give opportunities, but they're not trying to wait around for things to get good. I think they're looking for
Right.
instant productivity. Which, could you blame them? No, but I guess it'd be different if you were already, like, if you're 5-0, okay, hey, how about we give so-and-so a chance? Or, if it's a blowout, you put your second, third string in, you give them some garbage time minutes, whatever the case. So I want to end the show with one question. And I want you to give me your answer why, and I'm going to give you my answer why. Who is your favorite quarterback right now?
Right now.
Yes.
I really enjoy watching Drew Brees play.
Okay.
Just his, you can tell his work ethic. You can tell his enjoy for the game. I like his, how he presents himself. I liked, I like all of his, like, those moments that he, did you see that when he broke the passing record?
Yes, absolutely.
When he went over to his kids and he said something like, don't ever, be anything but yourself, or something like that. It was stuff like that. It's, you always see stuff like that from him, and it's just things like that it's. And then, like, after the hurricane hit down there, he did a lot of stuff post that
that's beautiful.
Gave back to the community. It's a lot of stuff like that you don't see from a lot of the players that he's done. That's one of the big things with him. It's not just about his play. It's about the fact that he's done so many things off the field that contribute to the community, and, like, that a lot of these guys should be doing and don't, or you at least if they do, they don't. You don't see it quite as much as you do with him, because he does, either it gets more publicized because who he is, or because he does so much more than everybody else does.
I respect that. Yep, I respect that a lot. Charity work is, and as any athlete, and especially when you're the face of a franchise, I agree with you 2,000%. Charity work is what you need to be focusing on. Obviously, especially in a bad situation like that, where people are losing their lives, their loved ones, their homes. So it's always refreshing to, in a world where people feel everybody's bad, it's always good to see somebody doing the right thing. So yep, I agree 100%. Again, you have such good answers that it makes my fucking answers seem like shit. My favorite quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. I love everything about how he plays. He's a fucking gunslinger. And yeah, it's like, obviously any quarterback can do this, but it's like when I watch him and he has the ball, like, just up here and he's reading, it's like he doesn't cock his arm back. He just straight from here, like some catapult, just bang. And I love that, man. The dude fucking launches that shit. But yeah, he moves around the pocket very well. He seems like a really good guy as well. His teammates, you've never heard anybody say that he was a bad person. So
that's for sure.
That kind of led me into, like, thinking that, I like this guy. So I want to thank you for showing me up, because your answer was much better than mine, and I appreciate that.
So you want to know the other thing too is, since probably for like the last 6 years, everybody has always told me that I look like him.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I definitely, now that you say that, I see a resemblance. I 100% see a resemblance.
Yeah, they actually had it on Facebook. They freaking they put my photo right next to his, and they
I gotta see that.
You'll have to ask Skyler.
I'm on it tomorrow and be like, hey, Sky, what's that one picture of Aaron Rodgers and Kenny again? But Mr. Kenny, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. This is our installment of the Jackson and Shabazz Show. I'm signing everybody off. My name is Shabazz from the Jackson and Shabazz Show. And Kenny, do you have any final words to sign us off?
I'm all set, brother.
Oh wow, you're gonna really be that guy.
I am that guy.
Well, thank you everybody
Thanks
for
for having
watching.
me. How about that?
That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you. Hey, we'll have you on again soon. Whenever, whenever you get some time, we'll definitely make this we'll spice it up next time. We'll throw some fillers in there. I want me and you to argue. I want to make sure we argue next time. But this is the Jackson and Shabazz show, everybody. Thank you for listening. We're sponsored by LCast Media. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. We're on YouTube at the Jackson and Shabazz show. All right, signing off. See you.